Hey everybody, Ghosthunter Dan.
Ghosthunter Larry.
And Tessa's with us tonight. We're outside of Bloodspoint Cemetery, and I'm going to put my finger into the shot. Right over there is Bloodspoint Cemetery.
That's actually the light from the cemetery in the screen.
Yeah, we're on the corner of Bloodspoint and Pearl Street. We're not getting out to do anything at Bloodspoint. We are simply going down the road. We did a video on Ghosthunter Dan about 2.5 years ago. My brother was with us, and we took you down Bloodspoint Road. Now that there's no snow, we're going to do that again. So I'm going to flip the brights on.
I'll hold the camera steady.
Yep, this time instead of starting on the other end, we're starting on this end of Bloodspoint Road. So here we go.
So Dan, while we get going and driving, and I'll concentrate on keeping this straight looking, why don't you tell us about the history of Bloodspoint Road and why so many people are obsessed with it?
Okay, Bloodspoint Road and Bloodspoint Cemetery, there was a family from the gentleman Arthur Blood, and Bloodspoint was named Bloodspoint after Arthur Blood's family. They claim that his wife was a witch. They claim that there's demon dogs that run up and down the road, although Larry and I have been up it a million times and never seen a demon dog.
Plus the black truck.
The black truck that's supposedly going to chase you. Trust me, I have on good authority that the black truck was friends of my brother's.
Wasn't the dog his too?
They had dogs, but I don't think they lived close to Bloodspoint, but not close enough to where their dogs would be out on Bloodspoint. But,
gotcha.
Remember the night you and I stopped out there to do a quick video, and the neighbor had that big old Rottweiler with him? I mean, he looked like a hellhound.
Sure did.
I think if he'd have sicked him on us, we would have thought he was a hellhound.
For sure.
But the black truck is also, you know, it's fabled that a black truck chases you down Bloodspoint Road. Now, Travis and Chad from Mission Terror, Greg and Rockford, they did have somebody chase them on Bloodspoint Road. And I'm not sure if it was a black truck or not. I'll have to go back and watch. They also have a video on Bloodspoint, and they were actually chased, and they talk about how they were chased the first time they were ever out here.
Well, I actually haven't seen the video, but were they hanging around the cemetery?
That first night they were not.
Okay, because it makes sense that they're by the cemetery.
And they didn't know this area very well, and when they're talking about it, it sounds to me like he chased him into Belvedere because, which is about 7 miles up the road to the north, because Travis talks about how they went through a stoplight and the guy went into the center of the road and sat there and watched them as they drove away. So the only stoplights would be up by the Chrysler plant, which is up north on this road, which is, what road is this? What's the road sign? God, they don't have any road signs anymore.
No.
This is a new road. It used to be called, oh my God, why can I not think of anything? Well, anyway, this road goes right by the Chrysler plant, and there is a light there, but not an intersection to where you can go anywhere. You got to get up onto the 4-lane to do that.
All right.
So I'm thinking that they went up Pearl Street where we started.
Gotcha.
So, also there's the fable of the bridge. Now, the first night that we were here, I think we stopped there momentarily. I will stop there. The way our camera's set up, I'm not going to have Larry move the camera around. We will stop on the bridge. I will put the Jeep in neutral, and you'll have to just take my word that it's in neutral. I guess I could. I
can pop it off the tripod.
I mean,
it won't be too bad.
Okay. But what people need to realize is that the bridge is built so that water runs off of it. So if you're going to park on the very tippy top of the bridge, you're going to roll one way or another. Now, the fingerprint thing, people say, well, I've put baby powder. I've even had a discussion with somebody on the YouTube channel. Well, I put baby powder on the back of my car, Dan, and there was kids' fingerprints all over it. Well, if you've ever been to a shopping mall, and if you have kids, or you ever stop and be very observant in a shopping mall or Walmart or wherever, everybody goes to Walmart, we all need groceries. Parents walking their little kids tend to touch every car they go by.
Right.
When they dust for fingerprints, they use a powder. It's not baby powder. It's a special powder to bring up fingerprints. However, baby powder will still show fingerprints as well. So, you know, I can explain all that stuff away. Now, could it be ghosts? Yeah, it could be. I've said this before. I want a haunting just as bad as anybody else. But I also don't want to be talking about a haunting that I can explain away. Everything that happens at Bloodspoint Bridge, I can explain away.
Right.
So, do I think Bloodspoint Bridge is haunted? No. Now we're at, before we go on, now we're at Bloodspoint and Cherry Valley Road, and we're going to continue west on Bloodspoint Road. The next intersection we'll come to will be Irene Road and Bloodspoint, and then the bridge will be right after that. So,
one thing to also bring up about the bridge, though, is that it's actually been redone a few times.
yeah.
Back when the story of the bridge and the rolling was more prevalent was when roads were pitched differently.
Right.
Roads were pitched to the point to where the water pooled and ran down almost the front of the road where you're coming from, and the other side to where, you know, you're driving up the hill and down the hill.
Now it's pitched like that as well, but it's also pitched like towards the side, so the water runs off and
so
off
it
the
runs
bridge.
off the bridge, right?
The important thing to point out, guys, is that at no time did the road ever run and cross the railroad tracks. It has always ran over the top.
Right.
So there's really physically no way, unless a bus tumbled off the top, that it could be crossing the railroad tracks.
Right.
The only way a bus would ever get on those railroad tracks is if it went over the side of the bridge and fell onto the railroad tracks and then was subsequently hit by a train.
Which you've also researched with the local fire department, and there's no record of a bus going over the bridge.
No. I've talked to some older people that lived in Boone County, you know, way back when we started this, even before I met Larry back in 1990s. And I talked to some pretty older citizens of Boone County, and they never, you know, remember it happening. So, all right, so this is Bloodspoint Bridge. That real dark area over the side of the bridge is about 30 feet down.
Let me see if I can take the camera off and we can look at it.
Is the railroad tracks.
Don't drop the camera.
Yeah, let's not do that.
You can't really see it.
You're not gonna see it.
It's down there though.
Okay, but you can see from other videos that I've shot in the daylight that it's
You got your flashlight?
Yeah.
I can't find mine. Thanks. No, you still can't see it.
No.
That's all right.
But anyway, we're on top. We're about 30 feet above the tracks.
Right.
So I'm going to pull a little bit more up right into the middle.
You can see the shadowing on the road there. We're still on somewhat of a little hill.
Okay.
But they flattened out this bridge so it's not quite as steep.
The Jeep's in neutral. Show them. Neutral.
Neutral. I'm going to put this back on the tripod. All right.
Hey guys.
What's up?
Jeep's not moving.
Jeep's not moving.
It's not moving left. It's not moving right. It's not moving forward, and it's not moving back. It shouldn't be moving left or right.
No. No. But like I said though, this bridge is also a lot flatter than it probably was back in the day.
I have not shifted the Jeep at all. Okay? Not shifted.
It's still in neutral.
I can't even push the Jeep. And it's in neutral.
And yeah.
So, you saw me get out. You saw me push the Jeep. The Jeep didn't move anywhere. Oh, well, you know why the Jeep didn't move anywhere?
Why?
Because the parking brake's on.
What?
Okay. You know why the parking brake went on?
Why?
Because if it's in gear, you cannot exit the vehicle.
Really?
Even in neutral. So
what if you exited the vehicle, close the door, then I cut it
probably
off?
what I'll have to do is, well, then you have to be over here to engage the brake and put it in neutral.
Oh.
So yeah, sorry guys, I forgot. My Jeep has a safety thing that if you exit the vehicle and anything but park, the parking brake kicks on automatically.
Okay, but still.
But anyway.
It doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change the fact that the Jeep's not rolling.
Right. I was gonna say you should be able to push the Jeep.
I should have been able. I was pushing like hell.
Right.
I mean, I actually heard my grill kind of go, and I hope I didn't crack it.
Right.
I was really pushing. I was putting my legs into it.
Right. Tessa, get out, push the Jeep.
So, no, I don't want Tessa to get out.
You could. Push
so, but anyway, regardless, guys, the Jeep's not moving. I mean, it's not going anywhere. So,
right.
I'm not going to make too many more videos on Bloodspoint Bridge unless I have a tangible reason to be out here making a video at Bloodspoint Bridge.
Yeah, I mean, it's at this point more urban legend than factual story.
The problem with bridges and train tracks is every city and every state of the Union has a story of a busload of kids got hit, and you can park a car on there and you'll get pushed off the tracks.
And the fingerprints.
And the fingerprints are there and everything else.
Yep, and just like every old road like this has the hellhounds, the demon trucks.
I think that it's a lot of hype and urban legend and BS, to be honest with you guys.
Oh yeah.
I think that if Bloodspoint Cemetery and Bloodspoint Road was called Sunnydale Cemetery and Sunnydale Road, you probably would not have the traffic and, you know, people like Larry and I out here even testing this stuff.
Yeah.
So, Bloodspoint Road, and actually we did a different thing before. We're going to go to where Bloodspoint Road turns into River Road.
Okay.
We're going to bring River Road around to Sweeney Road, and then we'll show you the one-lane bridge where now down there is activity. I've witnessed activity there.
Oh, the bridge?
Larry and I have never been there together where we both witnessed activity. And the bad thing about Boone County up here is that you stop and start messing around at the cemetery or at these places for very long at night, and a bunch of cops are going to end up showing up and, you know, running your license, running your ID, running, you know.
Right.
Which none of us are illegal. There's nothing we have to fear. They just tell us, what are you doing? And then they look at me and say, what the hell is wrong with you? And
well, a lot of them probably already know you anyway, so.
Most of them know me up here because I work for the county, but
they'll probably be like, did you catch anything tonight?
Most likely they would. The thing is the department I work for, everybody is really cool. They're not gonna arrest you just for the fact of being able to arrest you. So, anyway, that being said, I still, you know, we still don't want to be breaching cemeteries.
No.
Like I said on the live feed last night or yesterday, I'm not going to go breaching cemeteries because I can get arrested for that. And if I get arrested for something stupid like that, I'm going to lose my job, and I'm not going to lose my job for anything. So,
yep.
Anyway, so right here at this curve, actually back there at Fairdale Road, Bloodspoint Road kind of ended. Now this is now River Road, and this is still Boone County. And if you stay on River Road, the Kishwaukee River is right over to the left, the guardrail on the left. The river's right over there about 20 yards. And then up here closer, we're going to cross, Shirley Road's going to go off to the left, and River Road's going to continue to the north. We're actually going north right now. And then we'll be getting into, we're kind of in the corner of Winnebago and Boone County right here. So there's the Shirley Bridge, there's Shirley Road. It gets pretty tight right here. And we're going to come around another curve.
It's kind of spooky down here.
It is spooky down here. It's kind of a moonlit night. There's not a lot of houses. There is a house up on the hill there. There's not a lot of houses down on River Road until you get closer to Cherry Valley. I mean, there is here and there. Now, we're close enough now where I can see the moon shining off the water.
Yeah.
I mean, the river's just right there.
Right.
You know, there's a house right there. It's, I mean, there's population down here, but not a lot. So we're continuing on River. Bloodspoint turned into River Road. So I never left Bloodspoint Road, but up in here it is now River Road. So the next crossroad we come to should be Sweeney, and it will go to the right, which is right here. Now, if I continued straight, that would take us up into Winnebago County and into Cherry Valley. And River Road ends on Cherry Valley Road in the city of Cherry Valley. So we're going up Sweeney Road, and Larry and I were together and actually caught a picture that looks like a little kid walking his sister through this cemetery right here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be able to get a good shot of it.
Which is Shirley Cemetery.
Let me try.
If you shine the light, you might be able to see the sign.
Oh, yeah, actually, I can see a little bit.
Where's the sign's up farther?
Sign's down there, I think.
So Larry can kind of see it. There's about 4 or 5 gravestones in there. There's the sign right there. It
right
says
there.
Shirley Cemetery.
Yeah.
Larry and I did catch a really good UV picture in there one time.
Yeah.
But yet again, this is another place to where we've got to come during the daytime because
That house right there.
there's a house right there. That house was just built in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So,
That cemetery has also got a lot of creepy vibes to it too.
it does.
We've been told by a couple sensitives that it's a creepy place.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've never felt threatened there. Like I said, we caught the picture of the little kid walking through there.
Right.
You know, but one thing that I want to say, guys, is one of my theories is, and I'm not going to speak for Larry ever, but if he disagrees with me, he can do it, right? I think any place can be haunted at any time or become haunted at any time. I mean,
absolutely.
Bad stuff happens all the time. I mean, there could be an accident out on this road, a motorcycle accident or something a month from now, and the person who gets snapped out of existence could very well walk this road. I don't know.
Right, right.
So,
or either that or, you know, this tree here on the right could be someone's favorite tree. And then when they die, now they want to hang out with their tree.
They want to come back and visit their tree.
Yeah. I mean,
but this is Sweeney Road. Now, when we cross the road up here, it then turns into Pool Road. So it's only Sweeney between River Road and the next road up.
This bridge, though, is something.
This bridge is the single lane bridge.
Right.
And supposedly a woman hung herself off this bridge.
Right.
Larry and I have never really stopped down here at night for very long.
Or the day very long either.
Or the day. I've spent some time down here by myself in the day.
Right.
But that, you know, that's the legend that somebody hung herself off of there. I don't know how true it is. I've never been able to back it up factually. So now we're coming up. We've went under the bridge. Now we're coming up, and on the left is the Satanic Woods. And if I'm not going to stop,
I think the dip is right here, right?
But the dip to go in, I'll actually drive over so you can see the dip.
That's it.
And if you go up over that ridge, back into those woods is the Satanic Woods.
Yeah.
Now, I've got the other side of the road here. Actually, a friend of mine owns and farms that. And he said he has come up on people gathering out by the field there, and there are no trespassing signs on the trees. I can see them as we're driving by. I'm not going to stop.
Right.
But there are trees that say no trespassing all over the place. So, you know, you guys can come out and make your own conclusions. I've been in there at night quite a few times when I was a kid. My friend Matt and I, we did have an experience walking back to the woods. I've had other experiences with groups of people in there that I can't explain. We were out there one night and all the cops came up over the same thing, pulled into where we were parked there, and they wouldn't come into the woods. And, you know, most deputies and state police, because they were both out there, we heard them all run our plates, and they just, oh, it's just kids out here, and they left. So now we're at the end of Sweeney Road. This is Sweeney. The side road is Wheeler. And if you cross Wheeler Road, it then turns into Pool Road and goes back towards Belvedere. So we're going to make a right onto Wheeler Road. And Larry, I'll tell you when to cut the video.
All right.
So we're making a right. We're just kind of, this is a little bit long video, but it's going to be raw. We're not going to do a bunch of editing to it.
No, so I just put it straight from the camera to YouTube.
So what you guys see is exactly what we're shooting. We're not adding anything. We're not editing anything. You know, Larry might put the Ghosthunter Dan intro to it. I don't know. If he doesn't want to, that's fine too.
Nah. It's got our logo white marked from the YouTube channel, so we're good. Watermarked.
There's another new house over there on the right.
Watermarked.
Nice house. Here's another bridge that goes up over the same set of tracks. This is not Bloodspoint Bridge, but Wheeler Road Bridge.
It's got a pretty decent hill to it, too.
It's got a real good hill to it. And
this one,
you guys can see, we're climbing up. And if you get to the top of this, it's like, you know, if we stop there and put it in neutral, chances are we're going to roll backwards.
Right.
But they don't claim anything goes on at that bridge, so...
Right.
Plus, there's a lot more houses. I mean, there's 3 houses right there. There's one on the right. There's one on the right back there. So it's pretty well populated at this intersection.
So I just want to say that while Dan's been talking, you know, my job has been pretty much just to stare at this screen the entire time. And I want to note that the whole time that we've been driving and talking and me staring, I have seen nothing on this screen to resemble a person walking, a dog walking, shadows, anything.
Hellhounds.
Now, at some point, if you happen to see something, be sure to comment on this video with the time saying, this is what I saw at this time. And then we'll be able to go back and watch it. And then hopefully, you know, maybe we'll see what you saw.
Right.
So
now right here, we're at Bloodspoint and Wheeler. We're crossing Bloodspoint, and we're continuing on Wheeler to the south.
Right.
Which there's another residence right here at the corner of Wheeler and Bloodspoint.
Where we going now?
So we're going up Wheeler. And I'm going to show you guys one more place since it's very close. Mm-hmm. There used to be a farm up here at the next intersection, and it was called the Flora Stock Farm. Flora Church Road and Wheeler. The stock farm, the buildings are no longer there. They were, however, there about 15 years ago because a good friend of mine used to farm the field right off of here and rent the Flora Stock Farm, and we went into the buildings. Now, my dad told me when he came to the Kirkland area in 1961, they used to have barn dances and stuff out at these barns.
Jeez.
It was a very big establishment back in the 60s.
How footloose of him.
And then, you know, but you got to think, you know, out here and stuff, they had barn dances and stuff like that. So now I understand this video is getting a little long, guys, but I really want to thoroughly cover everything so that we're showing you the urban legends. And the Flora Stock Farm's a little less well known. The reason they knocked the buildings down, my buddy who rented the land at the time told me, was because there was a lot of people that were breaking into the barns and sacrificing animals and stuff. We're at the corner of Flora Church and Wheeler.
Focus.
We're at the corner of Flora Church and Wheeler.
Focus.
And
expensive technology. Yeah. Come on now.
And right here is where the remnants of the barns were. It's all trees now.
There we go. Okay.
So, and I'm not going to sit in the middle of the intersection. Now, this is Flora Church Road. The church, there's lights up on the left side. I don't know if the camera's picking them up right now, but it will.
It is.
The lights that you see on the left side is a church. On the right across the road from that church is Flora Church Cemetery. Flora Church Cemetery is said to be haunted. people have talked about seeing red orbs in the cemetery. Larry and I have both been in the cemetery. We've never documented anything in it.
Nope.
I've not been there. I've not been in the cemetery at night, but I have been right out here along the fence at night.
Right.
And
oh, I remember this one.
So the church is on the left.
A lot of solar lights out there.
Yeah, there is a lot of night lights. You know, if Larry wants to, he can take it off of the... Sorry. And there's the sign, Flores Cemetery, and if he points down, you can see some big stones right there. It is a very old cemetery.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's not haunted. I'm just saying that we've never documented anything.
And that sign says Flores Cemetery, 1858.
So Bloodspoint was established in 1836, and as you can see the sign there, no entry after dusk.
Yep.
So trust me guys, they mean it. No entry after dusk. If you're caught in there, you're going to be arrested for trespassing, and it's not going to be very pleasant having to bond out because you trespassed.
All right, we should probably wrap this up.
So that's the end of the tour. We're in the Bloodspoint Road area. The next stop sign we come to is Irene Road. If we turned left and went up about a mile, we'd come back to Bloodspoint Road. So we just did kind of a big loop.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to say, and I think it's worth repeating, like Larry said, we saw no black truck, we saw no hellhounds, nobody came out.
People, shadows.
We didn't see shadows, we didn't see people. You might have heard Tessa snoring a couple times because she is very tired. But other than that, guys, nothing paranormal. So trust me, I want to see ghosts and document ghosts and catch ghosts just as much as everybody else. But I also want us to have tangible reasons to believe something's there. So
right. I think for a lot of the road and the bridge, we presented logical reason of why it's not real. It's just a legend. That's it.
It's an urban legend. So we're going to say probably not haunted. It's not to say it couldn't become haunted at any time, and for the reason I stated earlier in the video.
Right.
But I would say urban legend. So this is Ghosthunter Dan, Ghosthunter Larry. Tessa's with us, snoring in the back, and oh, she's not snoring anymore. She's awake.
You woke me up, you ass.
Yes. So that'll end the Bloodspoint follow-up. We're probably not going to do any more of these because we've now ran it into the ground. So unless there's a new reason for us to come out and investigate it, we've pretty much spent it at Bloodspoint. So,
yep. So again, if you see anything in this video, please leave a comment saying, hey, I saw this at this time, and we will surely check it out.
All right. Thanks, guys.